Hello everyone and welcome again to my YouTube channel Maths Plus. So today I'll be discussing class 7 NCERT Maths का perimeter and area chapter का formulas only formulas. So perimeter and area if you discuss we will be discussing only about the plane figures. The plane figures you can think of, we can start for what? Triangle. The triangle looks like this because it's a polygon made up of what? Three sides, because we are going to find out the perimeter and area of closed figures only, because we cannot find out the perimeter and area of open figures. Open figure matlab like this. So the initial and the final position are not meeting. But if I make it meet like this, then this becomes a closed figure. So this type of closed figures we'll be discussing for perimeter and area. So triangle, you see, it's a three-sided polygon. So how to find out the perimeter? The perimeter, if you go through, is equal to sum of the lengths of the three sides of the triangle. It's a triangle symbol here. So now if the triangle is named as AB and here it is C, then what will be the sum? So that is AB ka length plus BC ka length plus CA ka length, isn't it? So now it's a general triangle, or we can say a scaling triangle, we can say, because there are three types of triangles on the basis of sides. That is a scaling triangle, isosceles triangle and equilateral triangle. The special formula for an equilateral triangle, what it will be? As all the sides are equal, I'll be writing a perimeter of an equilateral triangle. Perimeter of an equilateral triangle is equal to how much? 3 into the length of one of the side, because all the sides are equal. Okay, 3 into length of the side, because all the sides are equal. Okay, if one of the sides will be given 3 centimeter, the perimeter will be how much? 3 into 3, 9 centimeter, like that. So now if you find out the area of a triangle, triangle symbol you can see, this one, area of a triangle, what it will be? So it will be half into base into height. That means if this is a triangle, this is ABC triangle, and this I'll be considering BC as the base, and this will be the altitude. Then I can say, or the height, I can say this is H, this is B as the base. If I will consider BC as the base, AD is the height. So like that, three sides are there. The three sides can be considered as one of the base. We can consider one of any one of the side, and there will be three altitudes or three heights of the triangle also. That means you have to take the corresponding height to this base. Which one will be the altitude? This one. So AD is the height here, BC is the base here. That's why what will be the formula according to this figure? So half into base into height. What will be the naming here? Half into BC into AD. And if you know the values of BC and AD, we can find the value of the area of this triangle in square units. So that may be in millimeter, that may be in centimeter, that may be meter, so and so. So you will be using the units of the length, and we know area of the triangle unit will be what? Square units. Okay. In this way, we got to know what is the formula for the perimeter of a triangle and area of a triangle. And if I consider the area of the equilateral triangle, what it will be? It's a special triangle again. The area of an equilateral triangle. These formulas are very important, so please try to remember always, because this will be helpful in mensuration chapter in higher classes. The area of an equilateral triangle will be root over of 3 by 4 into whatever side will be given, uska square. That means root over of 3 by 4 into side ka square. ठीक है. तो this will be the formula for the equilateral triangle का area, and equilateral triangle looks like this. That means all sides are equal. Okay, so if this is PQR triangle, I can say length of PQ will be equal to length of QR will be equal to length of RP. That means all the three sides are equal. And you got to know here different formulas for triangle, perimeter of a triangle. That means if it is a scalene triangle, sum of the lengths of the three sides, perimeter of an equilateral triangle, 3 into length of the side, area of a triangle, half into base into height, then area of an equilateral triangle is equal to what? Root 3 by 4 into side ka square. Okay, so in this way we will be figuring out the formulas from a figure, and if the values are given, then you can get the answers of this perimeter and area of a triangle or any specific triangle. Okay, so let's go to the next plane figure, that is a rectangle. So after a three-sided polygon, what we will be having? A quadrilateral. So quadrilateral का भी special types of quadrilaterals will be going for. Rectangle. The rectangle looks like what? So we know the property of a rectangle. Opposite sides are equal, isn't it? If this is a rectangle ABCD, I can say side AB is equal to side CD and side AD is equal to side BC. That means length of the sides are opposite sides are equal. Accordingly, what will be the perimeter of the rectangle? Perimeter of the rectangle. तो perimeter का meaning तो पता है, area का meaning पता होगा. In class 6 we have already discussed those things. The perimeter of the rectangle means what? Sum of the lengths of the what? Sides of the rectangle. That means you see is equal to what? AB plus BC plus CD plus DA. But thing is that side AB is equal to side CD and side BC is equal to side D. That means I can take 2 times of AB and 2 times of BC, isn't it? So if I say AB will be the length of the rectangle and BC will be the breadth of the rectangle, isn't it? So we know there are two namings are there. That is, this is the length AB and this is the length, and this is the side BC, which will be naming it as breadth. So now AB is known as what? The length. So I will be writing here 2 into length, that is L, and it is here 2 into B. And if 2 take in common, what I will be getting? 2 times the sum of the length and breadth of this rectangle. So we got to know the derivation of the perimeter of the rectangle, isn't it? So what it is? 2 times of the sum of the lengths of length and breadth. So this is all about the perimeter of the rectangle. Now for the area of the rectangle. Is equal to what? It's too simple. Just multiply the length and breadth dimension. Nothing else. Then you will be getting what? Area of the rectangle. It's an easy formula. I think so. So perimeter you understood what it is? 2 times the sum of the length and breadth, and here area means what? Length into breadth. Understood? So now let us go to the next figure, that is the square. Even square is a rectangle, isn't it? But can you say the rectangle is a square? No. Square is a rectangle because opposite sides are equal and even diagonals are equal. But rectangle is not a square. Why? Because all sides of a square are equal, and here in rectangle only opposite sides are equal. That's a rectangle is not a square, but square can be a rectangle. Okay, so let us go to the next formula, that is for this figure square. So how does it look like? So all sides are equal, we know. That's why the square will be looking like this. and here all sides are equal. I have let it symbolized here. So if I take ABCD as a square, so what will be the perimeter? Perimeter of the square will be sum of the lengths of all the sides. That means if I write AB plus BC plus CD plus DA, then I can get the what perimeter of the square. But thing is that all sides are equal. So if one of the sides will be given, then I can multiply it by 4 so that I can get the perimeter. That's why all sides are equal. So I can also write here 4 into AB, or I can write here 4 into length of one of the side. So this is your formula for the perimeter of the square. And now you see, we got to know the perimeter. It is 4 into side in case of a square. So what will be the area of the square? Formula. Let us write the area of the square curve formula. As we know, in case of rectangle, we have multiplied what? Length into breadth. That means like this one. AB was considered as the length and BC was the breadth. So AB into BC. Like that here also, as we know, square is a rectangle. So what you can do? We can do AB into BC, isn't it? That means I can write here AB, length of AB into length of BC. But AB and BC are equal, no? So what I can write here? AB into AB. So what it is? In exponential form, I can write AB cos square, isn't it? Or if AB will be considered as one of the side, then I can write here side cos square. That means I can mention the formula here. Area of a square is equal to how much? Side cos square. That means whatever side will be given, dimensions of the side will be given. I'll be squaring it and I'll be getting what? Area of a square. So easily understood the formula for the triangle, rectangle and square. Let us now go to the another figure, that is a parallelogram. The parallelogram, you must be recalling that in class 6 we have discussed. It looks like a rectangle, but it's not a rectangle. It looks like, not exactly, but let us draw that again. So I have written here parallelogram, and parallelogram looks like this. If ABCD is considered to be a parallelogram, we can say only opposite sides are equal, isn't it? Diagonals are not equal. So here, how can you find out the perimeter? Now you see, opposite sides are equal. It is like just you can relate to the rectangle where opposite sides were also equal. Here also the same thing, but here no length and breadth are present. That's why we can consider these AB and BC to be adjacent sides. So that's why what will be the formula? 2 into sum of the lengths of the adjacent sides, isn't it? Because you don't have any length and breadth here. So we can write here 2 into sum of the lengths of the adjacent sides. In the figure, if I consider, what it will be? 2 into AB plus BC. So this is the formula. And if AB ka value and BC ka value given, so we can find out the perimeter of the parallelogram also. Now what will be the formula for the area? Let us go to the formula. Area of the parallelogram is equal to how much? So in parallelogram, what you see, if I will consider DC as the base and AQ as the altitude or the height, or I can say distance between the two parallel lines, that is AB and B, because in a parallelogram opposite sides are parallel also, we can say. And we can see this H is what? The height or the distance between the two parallel lines, that is AB and CD. And DC is considered as the base. Okay. So the formula will be what? Base into height. Okay. So it is all about the area of the parallelogram formula. So we got to now got to know now perimeter of the parallelogram and also the area of the parallelogram. So now let us move to another figure, that is the rhombus. Rhombus is a parallelogram, if you remember, but parallelogram is not a rhombus. That's why we say rhombus is a special parallelogram, because all the properties of parallelogram are in a rhombus, but parallelogram is not a rhombus because all the properties of parallelogram are not in rhombus. Okay, so let us go for rhombus. In rhombus, all sides are equal. Like this, if you see. So what will be the perimeter? You can easily guess now. Perimeter is equal to how much? 4 into side, because all sides are equal. So you must be remembering the perimeter of the square. So it is just the same because sum of the all the sides. Now area of the rhombus is equal to the same like a parallelogram. Suppose if I consider this as the base and this will be the height, then I can say here also base into height. But there is another formula if the diagonals of the rhombus are given. What is that? Or I can write area of the rhombus is equal to what? If diagonals are given. That means if I draw here another rhombus and here are the diagonals. Let it be A, B, C and D. And you see DB is a diagonal, CA is a diagonal. It will be half into AC into DB. Or I can say half into D1 into D2. That is half into the length of the diagonal 1 and into the length of the diagonal 2. If you have diagonals given, then we can find out the area of the rhombus in this way. If base and height are given, then we can find out the area of the rhombus in this way. Hope till this it is understood. Now let us go to the next figure, that is a trapezium. Discussing the questions related to this perimeter and area will be in my next video. So now let us go for the trapezium. So till trapezium I will be discussing, because the next one, that is the circle, so it is a little bit different from these plane figures. So I will be discussing it separately, and the questions related to this topic, perimeter and area, and related to whatever formulas I have discussed or whatever plane figures I have discussed, I will be discussing the questions related to these formulas. So trapezium looks like what? That means we can say any one of the opposite sides, one pair, you can see, this will be parallel. Then this quadrilateral will be named as a trapezium. Okay, only one pair of opposite sides will be parallel. Other two sides are non-parallel. These two sides, other two sides may be equal, may not be equal, but these two sides or the the remaining two sides will never be parallel. Only one pair of opposite sides will be parallel. Okay. So now perimeter in this case will be only adding the sides. Nothing you can do it here. So no special formula for this. So we'll be only what? Writing what? Sum of the lengths of the sides of the trapezium. Length of the sides of the trapezium. Okay. Okay. So now, if I consider AB, BC, CD and D are the sides, so what it will be? AB का length plus BC का length plus CD का length plus DA का length. So no other way to find out the perimeter. So this is the way to find out the perimeter. Now area of the trapezium is equal to what? So if DC will be considered as the base and this will be the height. So you cannot relate to these the area of the. Now see, after the perimeter of the trapezium, we'll be going for the area of the trapezium. So how will be writing the formula? Let us see the area of the trapezium. So now you see, I have considered these two sides AB and CD, which are parallel sides, and I'll be writing here in small letter that is this is P and this is Q, okay, and this is H. So what I've done here, so I have considered these two parallel sides AB and CD, and the distance between the two parallel sides, that is H. And if I name it as, like, I will be naming it as AE. A is the distance between the two parallel sides AB and CD. The formula is what? Half into sum of the parallel sides, length of the parallel sides we can say, into height. Height here मतलब distance between the parallel sides. Okay, AB and CD के बीच जितना distance है, that will be considered and will be multiplied. According to the figure, let me write a half into sum of the parallel sides मतलब AB plus CD I can write whole into what? A. And if I mention it symbolically, whatever I've written here, P, Q and H, so I can write here half into P plus Q into H. So hope you understood this area of the trapezium, how it is done. Half into sum of the parallel sides into height, and according to the figure, half into AB plus CD into AE, or if I consider P, Q and H, so you see here half into P plus Q into H. So hope you have understood all the formulas and try to remember these formulas, which will be helpful in higher classes also. And these are the basics. So basics must be understood first to approach to the next level concept. So before you start to the next level concept, use the formula, apply the formula in the questions. You will be practicing from the NCERT books or any other books. So let us practice at home and see whether you are getting the answers for the perimeter and area of the triangle, parallelogram, rectangle, square, rhombus, trapezium or not. So till then, thank you for watching my video and hope you will never forget to like, share and subscribe my channel Maths Plus. Thank you all.